Oh, Mick, you're so smart. Yes, dealt with. And why is it always foggy whenever I start here? That's looking a little bit better. Yeah, no, I was dealing with two of those issues. You're so smart, Mick. I got stuck in traffic, and then when I came home, the router was blinking red, and I was like, "Oh, that's not good." And that was like 30 minutes ago, and had to like restart, and then it's auto updated, and I couldn't really do anything. Well, I guess I could have started streaming from my phone, but last time the quality was so poor when I did that. But how's everybody doing? How are we doing today? Let's see who's in here. Ooh, warm Dr. Pepper. Nothing quite like it. As you guys can see, having an allergic reaction to something. Um, so that's fun. Took a Benadryl. So if I start going by the end of the stream, just say, Alex, tap out. Just tap out. Sky Dancer, Liliana, what's up? David Rayner, what's up? Chris Howell, Chang Yang, hello. Mick, of course, good to see you. Who else is hiding in here? Linda Worth, Rosie, hello and welcome. Chris Aquazone, what's up? And Aria, what's up? How are you? Stephen Hubbard, hello. Fish and Floral, hello again. So, who else is hiding? Melissa Borse, hello. Corundulan Works, how's it going? And Zithian, I don't know how to say that. Zithian, hello. Eric, what's up? Shanna, what's up? Earth Inspired, the 1A6 element, hello. Oh, your notifications were spot on tonight? Well, that's good. I mean, I set the stream for, I think it was like 4:37. And so, yeah, if you're getting it just now, it's not actually spot on. But I'm glad you got one. That's great. 3G, what's up? GRB, what's up? Mark Sturlson, what's up? Kara, what's up? Jimmy P, Nancy B. So, Amateur Aquatic Addiction. Hello, hello, hello. So, how's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? We having a good day today? I've been having a pretty frustrating day in that I've had to run all over to different pharmacies. I'm trying to get all my medications and stuff in a line for going to Florida because I am going to Florida. Pretty excited to go down there and speak to them at the Central Coast, the Pasco and area, Spring Hill. What else is down there? Spring Hill and whatnot. But I just talked to Lucas Bretz too, and I'm gonna go stay with him for a night. It sounds like. So between him and then Grant from Garden of Eater Shrimp and a couple other folks, I've got some pretty sweet fish rooms or shrimp rooms that it should be fun to go check out. And then also, we'll probably try to be doing a meetup on that Saturday where I'm speaking. The speech is free to listen to come check out. I'll stream it if someone wants to film it, and then we're gonna go collecting. So we'll have some collecting species, some videos of collecting. We're gonna do some urban collecting of crazy fish that just exist in Florida, plus some reptiles and stuff. And then also, it sounds like I'll probably be going back to the Florida Aquaculture Research Center, and I went there 5 years ago with the channel and showed you guys the baby firefish and the baby blue tangs that were having a moment in the sun because they were the first time they ever got them to spawn was in captivity was there. And then they also had all these like platinum gars and platinum red-tailed catfish and like just all sorts of wild or not so wild fish morphs and lines that they're working on and that they're working on treating disease in. as well as like they're trying to take native fish to the southeast of the United States and try to teach them selectively, breeding and selection, trying to teach them how to like live in harder conditions and warmer conditions than they usually would like. And so things like the rainbow shiner, they've been able to get to survive in full-on tropical aquarium conditions, which is exciting. Oddball fish as hillstream loach. I love hillstream loaches. They're one of my very favorite little oddball fish for sure. The killer of fish, what's up? Good to see you. Alex, would love if you did a video about carnivorous Florida aquatic plants. Yeah, I would love to do that too. I might be able to do one about the plants that are non-aquatic, that are carnivorous there, just as easily as anything else. But I'll definitely try to do that. I mean, I'm going there to collect plants just as much as fish. So I just wanted to show you guys one of the shiners that I've got in here. He had some nice color showing up. He's in with the CPDs, but let's see. Scoot forward, buddy. Come on. This is the only one that's not out in the pond at the moment, and he's kind of my little weather vane because the window's open most of the time in this room. But he's starting to have the blue and the red coloration come through when the light hits him just right. But what I was curious about, never having owned these before this group of them that I have, the 5 outside and then this one, was just how colorful they get, other than when they're literally spawning. And it's kind of interesting to me that like our own native fish that are the most common things, like in theory, like they should be some of the most accessible fish, are some of our most oddball fish in the country because nobody has them. But yeah, so like tanks like these little ones here, that they have a sponge filter in theory I can turn on, but most of them are just sitting with no sponge filter running and just mulm, and even just either a little bit of sand at the bottom or nothing in some cases, like this quarantine tank I've got over here. But I'm definitely, this guy, you know, this female, she'll be moved aside when they get here, and then in here probably have room for this in here, more of them. So it should be a pretty cool experience going down there and finding whatever there is to find. I mean, I'm hoping to bring back some epiphytic plants and stuff like this guy, or sundews or whatever's out there. And then also I'm trying, we'll see what TSA says, but I'm trying to get some of my plants and some of my shrimp in my carry-on backpack. So we shall see. Now what I wanted to update before we look at any oddball fish or any of that stuff was these guys, my leucanzi, have been sick with something, and I don't know what it is. You know, I treated them for hole in the head. I treated them with a bacterial gram-negative and positive combo, wide spectrum, but they've just been super, ever since the super hot day, they've just been super clamped and not happy, and even their heads, in some cases, are like, their heads turned dark black. Like first blue and then black. Oh no, this one's doing so poorly. Hold on. Let me get something to scoop her with. And they've been just hanging on by a thread, and I don't know, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with them, like what to do. And this was one of the fish that I was so excited when I got a hold of them down at the wet spot in Portland. Yeah, see, she's not doing well. She's almost dead. And I hate to share this, but I share my failures with my successes. But yeah, since that heat wave, this fish, her head turned like dark greenish blue, and so did the other ones, but he's kind of rebounded. and she's just been struggling. Like her air bladder is bloated, and she can't do anything other than kind of twitch and run away every once in a while. But other than that, like, I don't know what's up with them. No other fish are sick other than those two, and I think it might just be, I mean, it's all fresh water. They've gone through a treatment round and everything, and I mean, there's other fish like rainbow fish in here that normally, like, that would be the canary in the coal mine. That would be the one that you'd know something's wrong with right away. Same with some of the killifish that are in here too. And yet the rainbows and pseudomagills, they're doing totally fine, looking good. And so it's just so heartbreaking to watch her struggling like that. Like, I almost want to just put her down, but I don't know. Anyways, so that's the tragedy of the day and of the week. I mean, honestly, I've had them a year now, so it's like the tragedy of a year of raising them, which is a bummer. And then I've been trying to breed these little guys too off in some side tanks. So I'm hoping to figure out what the secret is to breeding these blue tetras, even though they're called purple tetras, but they are a Hyphosobricon variety. And then also I've got these kind of wild looking endlers in here with them, and one of my bell-bottom endlers, but the other ones are the wild morph that's kind of come out of the bell-bottoms that I was making. And then all the Serpas are in there, and then we've got all the super red Turcanas over there doing their thing. And yeah, so I'm feeling like the fish room, when I get back and once the heat's over too, like, I just want to totally reset everything. That every tank that's had issues, I want to just kind of take care of the issues and reset the tank, and just kind of start some new projects all over again, which should lead to some like eye candy and stuff for y'all, and for me obviously, but maybe some more small cichlids, some more shrimp projects and stuff like that. We'll see, but it's interesting to me that these CPDs and the erythromicron, like, that's a new CPD, like, not new, but you can tell that it's much smaller. Same with this erythromicron over there, much smaller than all the others, and the adult ones are much bigger. So they must be having babies that are just laying super lay low, super extremely. Now, speaking of oddballs, if you guys ever see this fish available, this is one I really recommend. These guys eat a lot of algae and biofilm. They do nibble on plants just a little bit, not enough that they're going for the plants themselves, but enough that they're I don't know what the word would be. They're cleaning off the plants and being rough, I guess. And that's the male there, and the males always have a crooked spine. So there's another male that's zooming around back there, crooked spine too. They are just always a crooked spine fish because they're from Lake Inlay, and all the males in that gene pool have that notch on there where their tail starts. It's like a wobbly tail, but they're really fun. Loaches in general, any of the more peaceful loaches, even these little rosy loaches, that's a non. So that male there, he is he's not dominant at all. He's submissive, whereas the dominant male ones, they get much brighter. And that one was super orange like these colors up there, but something is, I guess, startling them. Plus, like, you just can't see it on this live stream very well. Color doesn't show up super well for some reason, but I highly recommend. Oh, there you can kind of see his peach and orange color, because right now he's glowing like a nice orange. When you get the angle right, he looks really nice. And the red-tailed, like, inlay loaches, this is full size right here, and the females have like a cool maze pattern all over them. And I'm surprised the female's not out right now. Usually she's... Let's feed them real quick and we'll get them out. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Lonnie, what's up? If anyone would know, it seems that one of my Lobelia cardinalis plants has variegation on it. Has anyone else experienced? Yeah, that's a very common species to have variegation. The temple plants and stuff. So it could be very, very possible that that's just what you got, that you've got some latent genes or whatever that are expressing and you hadn't noticed it before. Yeah, Mick, it did on the other one look like a swollen belly. I agree for sure. Look, she's like barely hanging on. And they've all been through hell. I thought maybe it was hole in the head, dropsy or something. And, you know, what happened was their tank, even with the AC in the house, this room, even with the window when it was closed and the AC was on, this room got to 95 degrees Fahrenheit and the water got to 90. And these fish live in the rapids in Africa, but ever since then it must have weakened their immune system and they've just gone downhill, and I feel terrible. I hadn't been able to do anything for them, and it's been like 2 or 3 weeks of just this steady downhill decline. They were up in the QT tank for about a week, and then they looked worse off up there. Here's that rainbow shiner that's shy. But there's a whole lot of shiners up in, or down in Florida that I hope to catch, and top minnows. So hopefully you guys don't mind my nature videos, because we'll be doing some species spotlights and nature videos out there. But just the way my tanks are, like the fact that there's only these 2 cichlids in here right now, and they're doing great. Like hopefully they'll have babies soon. I probably need to do like a fake cool and then warm kind of a switch on them with the water change and TDS and flow and oxygen and all that. But with those and then the Bickford eye that are in there, they could easily be consolidated. Then in here, I've got babies. If you see them flickering around in there, those are babies from the outside pond this season that are just in another, there's nothing going on, no aeration. It's just a 20 long. That's kind of my grow out tank because it's hidden. But then down here, we got lots of shrimp, so I wouldn't want to put anything in here that's too rambunctious. And then we've got my red-eyed lemon tetras and some cochuse tetras, and then these Venezuelan cories. And there's quite a few of the Venezuelan cories in there now. But I kind of want to change this up, give it some more love, just because it's on the bottom shelf. I feel like everything that's down low, all my little projects that are down low haven't been getting enough love, including this one too. And my little shrimp buckets that have different lines of shrimps in them and stuff. So, I don't know. I've just felt very, like a very bad fish parent with how this weather has just shredded out my tanks. And it happened last summer, but before that, it has never happened in 30 years of my dad, you know, asking him about it or anybody. Here you can see how swollen my face is from the allergies and issues. But the other thing I wanted to show you guys, let's see if I can even get a shot of them without mom, or actually it's dad who's the bigger problem right now. So right in here, this is the best they've done. So let's see here. Let me get this out of the way. Come on. So here's daddy. And here's all the little baby angelfish. They're at 10 days now since they hatched. So they still have some yolk sac, but there's still probably 50 to 100 of them in this community tank, which I'm amazed at, because I knew I was going out of town. Like literally I'm going out of town in 6 days. So I was like, what am I going to do about any newborn fish? And so I wasn't really sure, and I said, okay, well, I'm just gonna let mom and dad in this little area they have take care of them, and just let their little wall exist. And then I trimmed down the other plants for, I don't know, my elbow to my wrist. And then this guy, I do want to get these guys ready to spawn, but I guess it's gonna have to wait till I come back, because we've got Rasbo, who's one of my very favorite. He's my Nemo koi plakat. Sometimes people throw Galaxy in there too, but he is a real sweetheart of a little betta that's in the community tank. And with him, then if we hop one more time, sorry guys, I don't want to make you motion sick. Then if we hop back over into over here, then we've got the new female that happens to be his sister from a different batch that was 6 months newer. And she's really beautiful too. But again, unless it is neon, the colors just don't show well on these live streams. I mean, you guys know what a fully colored Serpe Tetra looks like, and they don't even look that colorful on this thing. So I need to figure out like what it is that like Aquarium Co-op, or you know, some of the channels where you see that. Also, I've got a betta Falx going on up here. And yeah, I need to figure out what they do to stabilize their stream enough to get those colors and all that. It doesn't seem to be the camera as much as the internet quality and the router and all that. Like maybe it means having a direct line into the camera or something along those lines. But I have a project that I need to find folks for. I'm doing some freelance beta testing, not with the fish. It is, hey, what's up, Kenny? What's up, man? It's good to see you. Hold on, let me get caught up with what y'all are saying now. Yeah, Mickey, it wasn't fungus in the nostrils. It was those like flares of skin, like skin tags. And I looked at that too, and I thought, man, it's got to be like, you know, like a fungus or a hole in the head type thing. And I treated him for all that stuff, going on 2 or 3 weeks now for the first week, and then I gave him antibiotics when that didn't seem to help. Nothing's seeming to help. Regina says, I love your collecting trip videos. Sorry about the shredded tire. Well, thank you very much. That was still a fun trip. Literally, Shanna and I got out of the car and we heard what you saw in the video, the psh, like that loud. That tire was just donezo. And I got out of my truck and I look at it, and I'm watching the whole truck go down, and Shanna's like, we're gonna go fishing first, right? And I'm like, yeah, let's go fishing first. I don't want to deal with this crap. And so we went and we caught some fish, which you probably saw if you've seen the video, and came back to the car, and we were like, all right, we'll fix this up, no big deal. We'll just get that tire iron and the jack, and oh look, some well, I shouldn't guess what kind of person it is. Maybe they're a very honorable thief. Some thief took all the stuff that's usually that sits underneath the truck by the spare tire. They took the whole kit, but not the spare tire, which is interesting. It sits behind the tire. So yeah, hey Dixie, hello. And but yeah, so then I was like, well, what do we do? And Shanna's like, it's a terrible idea. Do not drive it down the mile and whatever road to the Les Schwab, because there happened to be the Les Schwab very, very close for how not for the chances that we were close to a Les Schwab while out collecting fish was very low. And yeah, Corundulin works. Do you have a PO box there are a variety of phone clip-on filters like polarized or certain phone colors that can help show things. Yeah, so I actually just ordered the $79 one on Amazon that has really good ratings, or maybe it was $69. But it comes with, I think, 4 of them and a fisheye lens, and it clips over the entire set of cameras, whereas for a while they only had some other ones. And I bought a polarizing lens, a UV filter lens type thing that goes on this phone. It works in the non-direct light. It doesn't seem to want to work well in high light, and so that's probably my fault for not spending enough money on the lens, because lenses are expensive, you know. So this time I went and I spent more than 20 bucks on the lens, and I got the main lens. It came with these other cheapo lenses that clip over that lens, but we should have the polarization and UV filter thing sorted out for when I'm in Florida, so that's good. But anyways, so when we were driving, we started on the side of the road, and you just hear this ka-chung, 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 and I'm like, okay, well, I don't see any rims sparking, I don't feel anything dropping off, the tire's still on the wheel. Let's hope the rim doesn't bend, and the alignment and the suspension and everything or my axle for that matter, doesn't just snap like a twig on this trip. And Shanna's going, oh my God, what are you doing? Oh my God, I don't know. Oh my, she's just like praying, literally, like trying to be helpful by praying. And we get to Les Schwab finally. A cop comes behind us though on the way. We're going like 4 miles an hour down the side of the road, and a cop pulls right up behind us, and I think, all right, well, now we're gonna get a talking to, and how's this gonna go? I mean, just from my past, I have like oh boy, cops, yay, I get to deal with cops kind of a mood in my head. And no, it turned out that the cop went into the grocery store instead of stopping me, so that was great. Yeah, and we got back. Yes, I know all you former Brits and Brits spell them tires with a Y. Makes more sense linguistically that were the case. Joseph, what's up? How are you doing? Oh, you're on Lake Ontario, right on. That's nice. Yeah, it's hot again today, duh, but I want to go down to the river when my wife gets home. Hoping to go to the river and go fishing for some bigger fish. I'll share if I find anything cool, but if it's just boring trout and stuff that you guys have all seen, I won't bother. But what I wanted to do is just take a look at, because I haven't done it in a while, and I knew that they were going to be releasing a bunch of new stuff on here. So what I want to do is turn this around again, and I want to just take a look at what Aquatic Arts has on their website, because I haven't really been keeping up with them, to be frank. And they have a whole new facility now where they're going to be, going to the grocery store instead of helping me. Yeah, well, I don't care if the cops don't help me. I just don't want them to hinder me, which is generally what they do around me. But I've been talking to the Aquatic Arts people, and I suppose you could call this an ad, but it's not really meant to be. It's me checking this stuff out with you guys to get my initial reaction, because they have a bunch of new shrimp that they're breeding in-house, as well as new snails, new inverts and stuff that are all from Lake Silawase or Sulawesi. Which is really cool. And then they've got, most of their stuff now is tank bred in America, which is super cool if you're like me and you care about sustainability of the hobby and all that. Now, they will still get anything wild if it makes sense, like the Stiphodons and things. If you guys are on their website, you can, just by signing up for their newsletter, get 10% off. But if you don't want to sign up for a newsletter, just use the code capital S secret 10. Or if you haven't used it yet in the last 3 months or so, Secret 15. And I think it's either capital S or it's all capitals. It changes. Like they change it on me just so that some of the bots don't get it. But basically, you'll get 15% off, and then all dry goods are free shipping. And yeah, so if you are interested in anything we find, I'm just curious at some of these new species they're bringing in. That are pretty exciting to me. I'm really stoked about this. So, you know, places like Dan's Fish and other places, I always root for them, or Redfish, Bluefish. But, you know, they've got some really low prices now, under $5 for the actual Neocaridina zangagensis rather than the Davidi. Or palmata. So usually these are palmata. Well, these ones that are the zangagensis, they actually have a clarity, like as a snowball shrimp, that's really good. And right here too, you can see the black diamonds are super dark. So I'm excited that their private surplus stuff has finally, they're basically releasing it to the public, and myself included. Like, they've got wild, never been bred line of Neocaridina too, which is pretty cool. I hadn't seen those in probably 15 years. Back when nobody wanted those, they all wanted, you know, oh, give me the reddest red they could find, and it would never look anything like these ones. But the painted fire cherries, only $5.99. The Bloody Marys, $8.99. That's still a little expensive, but they do have some of the best color lines, I will say. But CPOs, love those little Mexican crayfish. They're really cool. Plus, all these nearite snails, they'll last you several years, and they'll eat the hard algae off the walls of whatever tank you're keeping. They're so good for that. It's incredible how good they are about that. What about snails? Do people choose to keep them as livestock? I like my rogue ram's horn snails for cleaning, but have never considered buying a snail. Yeah, you know, I actually sell my ram's horn snails sometimes because I've got, I think I saw they had one here. Yeah, I've got these ones that are the gold with the pink foot. And I've also got some that are white or opal colored, like, it looks like gasoline shimmering. And I have these too, the grayish blue with a black foot. And yeah, some people do pay, you know, $3 to $5 for those or whatever. But these are the secret weapon. These are the ones that I always tell people to get. They're finally back in stock. It doesn't matter to me if even if they have dings or they're missing their thorns. These little guys, they stay small. They stay like this big at the biggest. Like, I'm trying to think of something more comparable. They would never get any bigger than, they would always fit in this comfortably. Maybe even 2 would fit in a bottle cap. And they've got little thorns on them, and they're not super sharp or anything, but they don't leave nearly as many eggs as the other nearite snails. So if you get a female, or a nearite that thinks it's a female, they'll lay them. But check this out. They've got, oh, they've still got a few left. I'm gonna buy some of these. They've got these, like, with the gold speckles on them, these midnight nearite snails too. So they're really working again. I talked with, they have all new manager and everything. And if anybody ever has problems with, like, their stock dying or arriving with issues or anything like that, you call them right away, or, you know, email them right away. If they don't give you your money back and or extra credit and, you know, make it more than right, hit me up, because I told them I won't ever, you know, I would never show their stuff again if I found out that they treated folks wrong. So, and we're all on the same page. They're like, of course, that's not what we stand for. So, that was good to hear, because for a while I was kind of hearing some people say, oh, Aquatic Arts has been having some issues and stuff, and I was really concerned that might be like a trend. And other than the fact that I think they got a new general manager, a new marketing person, and a new kind of head of aquarist on site, I thought maybe it was going downhill in quality or something, and I was going to have to no longer, be close to them. But I've talked to them, and no, they're actually doubling down. And look at those. So now they're trying to offer, which is really cool to me, is they're trying to offer, like, whether you want the sky blue neocaradinas, you can get either tank bred, locally bred, which is generally in-house. And these ones look like blue jades. I mean, they're really, really nice looking shrimp. And then they've got, so yeah, see here, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different blues. They might even have more than that. Let me just double check. Yeah, at least 4 different blue lines. Oh, 4, 5, 6 blue lines that are all slightly different. And you can get them in a combo breeder box now too, that comes with like botanicals and stuff, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I like the ideas they're going with. But check this out. They've got this. I've got to keep some of these, and you can get 10 for under 200 with the. They've got the Aquatic Arts combo boxes, which, check this out. It comes with like moss and some botanicals and food and pollen granules and Bacter AE and the snowflakes, some decor and cholla wood. These packages are going to be a pretty good deal, I think. And so I'm excited that they're doing it, because you can also then, and I asked them to include the jackfruit leaves. And if you guys get their newsletter, you may have noticed that it's history related this month. Not saying that I am, I don't officially work there or anything, but I will be helping them out with content here and there, just freelance. Are Neorites snails with other snails okay, or do they do okay? Yeah, no, they're totally safe with other snails. They're not predatory at all. But this is the other one. These orange Rillies they have are incredible quality, and I would like to get some. Thank you, sir. May I have another, kind of a thing. But you can also pick, like, if you want food versus the botanical breeder pack, and then add that on to any group sales of shrimp or of fish, which is interesting. But I wanted to just take a look here and share what's new, because if you saw my episode on crabs, you know that there's a bunch of new crabs in the world of aquaria that should be hitting our hobby soon, which is exciting. And let's see here. So they're out right now of some of the other wild neocaradinas, some of the black diamond chocolate shrimp, which, man, those are nice looking. They also had those onyx ones that I haven't seen anybody else carrying. And they're getting into the higher end caradina again too, which is cool to see. Really cool to see. But they're being very straightforward with the fact that, like, this orange shrimp is not the same grade as the other orange really that I showed you guys. And the prices, they reflect that. But even for a US tank bred, $5.99 a shrimp, I think that's worth paying for personally, because of the implications and just keeping things in the US. But yeah, then there's the other orange one that barely has any on it. Tangerine tigers, green jades. These are not in stock at the moment, but they will be again soon, I'm sure. So, because, like I said, now they have the facility there where they're actually going to be breeding a lot of these threatened or hard to find. I believe you can forget about breeding neo shrimp in a tank together with Neorites. Wait, what? Neorites, yeah, they're fine. Assassin snails, don't really bother shrimp too bad either, but assassin snails will kill all your other shrimps. Nereids are a really nice shrimp, though, actually. I think they're uh, great. But Aquatic Arts, they're doing, as a graphic artist, I'm just chiming in that they have a new marketing team, too. And they've got new graphics they're going to be doing and all that. So I don't know. I wanted to give you guys a little update on them since I've worked with them in the past and want to keep that all transparent. I don't get paid by them or anything like a set payment. I just order things. They'll send me out things to try sometimes. And then on some things, like if we have a sale or something, then I can get a commission of a couple percent off of the sales, which doesn't change the price for you guys at all. In fact, it actually frequently makes it better. But I need to buy these too as soon as I get back from Florida. The rummy nose, these will not be available. I mean, outside of tank raised, we will not be seeing more wild populations of these for quite some time. The civil war that's going on is making things very, very bad with the state of these. But I mean, you can get a whole school of them. Let's see, 12 for 57. So that's a good deal with these, being that they're only from Lake Inlet, and so these are only from that basin. They always sell out quick there. But they have the two normal harlequin or lamb chop rasboras that you've probably seen before, but they also have the new species too, and they've been having things like the albino coloration of Caridina, or not Caridina, sorry about that, of the cardinal tetras, and then the green neon tetras. They're really blue right now, or really green depending on the angle. So they've got some interesting ones. I always love the brilliant lines too. They're really bright and colorful. These are just incredible swords. I got to see some video footage and other info on these. Joseph Oriondo, welcome to Lurker. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate it, my friend. And they are working on, what's awesome is they're working on some koi slanke shrimp too. So they're working on like 2 and 3 colored Neocaridina shrimp, like the Holy Grail colors, and like the pink and purple. That's what they're trying to do there, is get stuff that nobody's seen before, and now they've got all this extra space to be playing with. But also, these are an incredible, these sunrise hyphen platies. You get 3, they're $5 a piece, less than it. You get 3 of them for $14.49. And they actually do have this slight bluish green up in the top, so it looks like a rainbow of a fish the way the light hits it. And I really like those. Then it looks like they're sold out of the rainbow shiners and stuff now, but that's always coming and going, these real popular fish. But look at this, they've got Empire gudgeons too, on sale for $34. And Kenny has some of these for 3-pack of them. Kenny of Danikin Aquatics has, it's either the purple or the Empire that he has. Also the Peacock Gudgeon, they've got it for $3 cheaper than Aquarium Co-op has it locally for. They're getting in the bristle noses again, a lot more of those. And some of them are as cheap as $8.99, which is so cool that they've gotten down to that price range. I don't like these Siamese algae eaters. I would never buy this one with the mark all the way down its body. I would only buy the one with the mark right at its tail that's a black triangle kind of thing. Now these guys, I love the Adolphois Cories, but they're still $25 locally everywhere. And here they've got them for $50 for 3, which still seems expensive. in the scheme of things, I mean, in the scheme of things, it's expensive to pay for a fish, but when they're going for 25, 30, 40 bucks even a fish, uh, that's pretty good deal. They've also got Scarlet Baddis, and rumor has it they've got some females in the mix just randomly. It's real hard to know for sure, but you can tell when you got a lot of them. You can usually tell. So that's pretty cool. Also, they've got all the crabs and stuff that I've talked about, but they've got the Galaxy. These, when I get back, I definitely want to get some of these. The Tatia Galaxias or the Tatia Mosaicas. They're an awesome fish. They do hide a lot, but if you have like a black water scape or a nighttime person, they'll come out and they strike about like a bass the way they get their food. And then they've got the orange laser cories, which is rad. They're 20 bucks a pop basically. And then they've got these false upside down catfish that are albino. Look at this spotted Raphael. You don't see those that often. And then the Synodontis, you do see these more often, but again, the red lizard whiptails, these are another one of my favorites. They don't live super long, they only live like 2 years, so all mine have passed away now, but they are a really cool fish, and they're only tank bred because they are a man-made thing. But they've got the Borneo spotted loaches, and you can get them for only, wow, that's a good deal, for $34 for 3 of them. And these are the ones that have the nice blue tail on them, and then the gold and goldish silver dots. Super cool. Yo-yo loaches. Then they've been keeping a lot more too of the Bolivian rams and wild variants. Plus, they've got a good number of Oscars, a good number of angelfish, which I always like to see. Oh, they just ran out of the rosy loach. That's one I highly recommended. Then here's like my angelfish, basically. Only $6.99 an angelfish. Crazy. So I'm pretty impressed with some of the stuff they're doing. Plus, the website Vivi that's being built is one that I need to actually recruit some of y'all for. So basically, Vivi is going to have, it's going to be a site like Get Gills or any of the fish selling sites that have existed in the past. It's going to be kind of similar. It'll have all that functionality and more. But what it's also going to have is, even if you don't want to sell fish, they're going to have a setup where you basically can set up a digital version of your tank, like an avatar of your tank. So you can set up and share pictures of how you set up your aquascape, what it looks like at 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then you can share every species in your tank, and then you'll be able to create a wish list of, like, I've got 2 male long-nose bristle, two male lemon bristlenose plecos, and I need a female, and you can put a waiting list for a female, and anyone selling it will then let you know, and then you can add that to your tank and they'll ship it. Now they're starting off the shipping when the site launches, probably like beginning of October. They're gonna have shipping at $25 flat for overnight shipping of all things from Aquatic Arts or anyone who's selling on there. They're trying to get the Wet Spot to also sell on there and things like that. So they're trying to get other big companies with lots of these oddball fish to get involved, and also allow anyone like you, me, anybody to also sell fish there and then have a user rating. But it's all about what's ethical too. So they're not going to allow certain fish like red-tail catfish, things like that. You know, they know that if you want those, you can get them. And they don't believe that those should be, you know, being in the hobby unless you're really ready for it and so forth. But it's going to be really interesting to see. I've been doing their graphic design and consulting stuff for them. And It's unlike anything I've ever seen. I know some people would say that's a headache. I don't want to play with making digital versions of my aquarium online. But for me, I love that I can now say when I make a video, it was this tank. If you guys want to know what the plant was, there's a list of and a list with a then Wikipedia style link to all the info about each plant, each fish, its parameters, the tank. You can add all your parameters, all your routine and maintenance. Plus, you can also share your art or hardscape or breeding lines. There's all sorts of stuff that you're gonna be able to play with on there. And I need to find some people who want to help beta test this in this month and put together some really good sites. Basically, if you want to go and build a avatar of your tank, you upload some pictures of your tank, then you upload a picture of every fish or plant in there. You don't have to do all of them. It's as many as you want or don't want to do. But I want to show that not just the seller side, which obviously has value because everybody's looking for a cheaper fish selling platform, but they're going to actually have it too, where it knows where you are in the US and it will adjust shipping rates like down to the weight and to the distance at discounted, deeply discounted corporate rates. So instead of like right now, someone told me they just sent a package and for overnight through FedEx, it was $142 to send 3 bags of fish in a little box to overnight, like next morning that. And through the mail, I've been seeing when I've done it, it's been 55 to 75, even 90 if it's down in Florida from here. And they're doing it for 25 bucks when they start up. So it's going to be really cool. And unlike any site that does this right now. But the beta test or beta testing basically is just looking for errors too, because it's a brand new website and software. And the other thing is it's full of data. So it's going to take anonymously data about, like, most people keep their neon blue tetras at this, in a 20-gallon tank, and they've got an average of 12 of them. And so what they're hoping to do is using AI and survey logic, they're hoping to then represent that data open source to the public and literally like show in our hobby. Everyone knows what supposedly you're supposed to keep this or that at, or what you read online, and everyone's copy and pasted it over and over. But can you really keep a fish at 50 degrees outside? Can you keep it in a super low pH maybe, and everyone thinks it needs to be something else? So they're trying to answer some of these questions that for years aquarists argue over and whatnot. And the answer is probably, yeah, you can do a lot of different things. And so it's there for anybody who wants to try it out. Basically, I can get you set up. If you're committed to building yourself an actual profile, they want some profiles on there so that when they officially launch in October or November, there's actually people on there. But what there's also going to be is all sorts of content linked to, like, if you're a creator, if you have a YouTube channel, or if you're a fish breeder, then you really want to get in on this, because basically they're going to have listings, for every fish that you want to sell, and it'll be linked for other people's tanks. So when they click on, like, I have a blue tetra, I have a neon blue tetra in one of my tanks. Well, then when you click on that, it's going to bring up all the info that their database has accumulated, including some of Aquatic Arts' old info on care sheets, on fish that pair well with them. And so you'll literally be able to then make imaginary tanks and select like 2 or 3 starfish, if not starfish, but like main fish. Like, say you want angelfish, but you're like, what goes with angelfish? And I have hard water. Well, this site's going to be able to then suggest, well, here's a list of 100 plants that go well in hard water, and they're for sale by this user and that user and this user. So it should be really interesting. It's VIVVY, and I'll definitely let you know when it's officially up and everything. But the other cool thing, AW, Alex, that you said, yeah, Big Brother's watching your tanks now too. They have an encrypted, like, their ethics. They're all like, all the people that are doing the programming on this are like old school Web.0 darknet type, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds that believe, no, you cannot share info. You cannot scour the info from this kind of a site and then give it to teams who want to market, like not even to Aquatic Arts or to their own, site. It's just going to be amalgamated info that's separate from that, but there will be sales linked just by the keyword, and then if you want, you can search by what pairs with it, by the parameters that are in your tank, by your tank size, and it will tell you what other people are doing. And so it's kind of like trying to crowdsource like that. And so they're also there's this forum I subscribe to locally where questions get asked that makes me wish someone is actually watching their tanks. Why do you keep mentioning Aquatic Arts? Because why do I keep mentioning Aquatic Arts? Because I was just saying, I worked on this project. I'm telling you that I worked with it. But I also get a 1 or 2% kickback on when people use those codes during the sales, which has been the situation for 5 years here. And I also, like I was saying, I also think that the Wet Spot and Dan's Fish and Redfish Bluefish, I think all those are awesome websites too. And we look at those websites on my site too. But this new site that is going up is half the people from Aquatic Arts. Their old C-suite, like their CEO and founder and stuff, they've left because they want to do this thing to enrich the fish community and change the way fish are sold and make it so that basement and hobbyist breeders can actually afford and easily do it. Ideally someday it'd be great if your local fish store could, or even a local person who wants to volunteer, like Uber style or whatever, one of those crowdsourced, or what are they called? Basically the idea would be, it'd be fun if someone wants to volunteer for Seattle and say, I'll package and ship those fish, I get 20% of the profit, but I'll put them in bags, I'll come to your place, I'll scoop them out, I'll ship them, whatever, and then put them on there, and then it's all still cheaper because they've negotiated the group rate with UPS that a corporation would normally have. And so everybody else is getting forwarded that discount. So it's going to be really interesting. I don't know how well it's going to go, but I have volunteered enough that I'm putting some of my tanks on there, not as a seller, but just as a potential buyer, but more so for the data and info that could be assembled there. And also they're going to have, all sorts of information, resources, how to acclimate fish, all the stuff that a really good fish sales website should have. They'll have all that linked so that anybody who wants to sell their fish, there'll be a care guide for that fish if it's being sold on the website. Like there has to be. So they're really thinking about fish first and then the sustainability of the hobby. And the people that are building this stuff, they are very, very against like the Google, the Facebook, that method, and the using the user data to create ads and things like that. Now, if you sign up for their newsletter, if you say you want to be a part of it, then it'll be involved. But like for any sort of transshipper, wholesaler, anything like that, they have a team of people that are going to vet and go in person, or at least like Skype if they know them somewhat from the industry already, and vet anybody that's more than just a small time seller, because they're trying to get rid of all of the boosts that's been trafficked illegally, all of the really cheap fish that come in from Southeast Asia that are constantly dirty, the Iliobiopsidae on shrimp, and they are going to they are the ones who are going to actually ensure the seller, like so when you do business with them, they'll refund you if anything happens DOA. And right on, US Scaper. If you might be a small time seller on there. Yeah, me too. You know, like I don't want to have my plant trimmings go to waste, for instance. So with my rare plants, when I trim them, if I don't have room to put them somewhere or give them to a friend nearby, that's a great way where I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I'll start doing that. So it should be interesting. But if you guys want to do something on this with early, like as an early adopter tester, you would just basically be required to take, you know, decently good looking pictures. We're trying to get there for the first group of folks, so that as more folks join, they can get the idea of how to represent their fish. But if you have social media, you are allowed to link that, but there will be no social media like promotion on the actual site, so nobody has to look at like spammy stuff. It's all very like in their ecosystem, but there's also links and transparency. So like transparency is their biggest thing, and I've really been excited to work with it. In fact, you know, when I was working with it, I was like, if you know so and so needs this fish or whatever, like Aquatic Arts could totally email and say, we have this fish. And they're like, well, unless you're on a wish list that specifically says you want to be notified, like that is not okay. And I was like, oh, you know, like they were way more hardcore, and they thought about it much more than I even had about the ethics of it all. So it's kind of cool. But in any case, if you're interested in doing that, I need to pick up a couple people that want to do that and make their tanks look nice. Basically, create a digital profile, like a LinkedIn or a dating profile for your tank. It's like a Facebook for each of your tanks, but not that involved. You don't have to update or anything. And then over time, the other thing they're going to do is they're going to have info about, like, if you use things like Inkbird or those products that do track data, you can actually, for your own self, track that stuff. And it'll say, like, you know, most people keep here, but over the course of a day, this is how most heaters on the market are behaving. So they're also trying to then probably hand out some more gear and things like that to get more feedback of how the hobby actually works and what tanks actually look like. Xanadudu, my discount code at Aquatic Arts is secret 15, all one word, capital S, I think. And then, or secret 10 if you've already used that one and gotten the 15% off. So yeah, if you do it, and sometimes people forget and they just like, if you email their info or info at Aquatic Arts and say, oh, I meant to put in Alex's discount code, but I forgot. They've always been cool about that, and they've given people credit back. So yeah. But let me know what you want to do if you do want to do that. I mean, they're looking for sellers too, but they're just gonna vet the main big sellers very heavily first, so they know they've got like a solid 50 or 100 sellers that they've been to the facility. They see how they care for the fish, so it's gonna be, you know, top notch in that sense. And then it's not gonna be like Seagrass, Petco, you know, those kind of like big facility flipped fish. It's just not going to be what they're doing. And they eventually would like to do all local and independently bred, you know. I feel like somebody dropped a super... Oh, Elliot, thank you so much, man. Elliot Bacon, I appreciate it, buddy. I really do. Yeah, and codes are in the description. And whenever they change at Aquatic Arts, so I'll change the discount codes. I've been working with them since 4 people worked at Aquatic Arts 5 years ago. So I've really watched their company grow, um, and like ethically kind of had a stake in it. Even though they took a chance on me supporting them in that I'm all about conservation and changing the way they do things. Like at the time that I hooked up with them and started working and chatting with them, at no time have I ever like gotten like been on their payroll or paycheck from them or anything like that. But for leaving their link in the description, I get a kickback if someone uses it. And sometimes I don't even. If they have a sale or something, sometimes certain items I don't. It's just because I believe in what they're doing. But now they're at the stage of doing the things that they've been working towards for so long, of having this big old warehouse space where they're going to try to recenter the breeding hobby of fish and shrimp and make it in America and affordable. And then they want to encourage people to sell their own shrimp back to them, because literally Aquatic Arts, which the owner, the same owner, he saw that like there's such a desire for shrimp. You can't source enough in the US now. You'd need literally 1 million more shrimp a month to meet the demand at the price. So he wants that 1 million more shrimp to be bred in America and have breeders and people like you and I making the money like that. So it should be interesting. Plus, it should also create a block of people that can get info. But if there's something like new legislation where they want to ban all the fish, like that one that happened recently, which is still kind of hanging in the air, but right now it's on hold, by the way, then there's another community of people that can easily, they could put out like a link and you could, boom, everybody can email their senators or whatever. So I think there's potential too for good to happen, or to support charities, because Aquatic Arts has always done that. Their owner has always given away a lot to women's and children's shelters. If you adopt a pet, he's always given $50 gift certificates. You adopt a pet somewhere completely unrelated to him, and he gives you a $50 gift certificate for his website just because you're being kind to animals. So he's always been a really, really interesting guy in that sense. Very unlike the bottom line is all that matters business that you see in the aquarium hobby very frequently, because margins can be really tight. US Scaper, how much would you deem a fair price for a hobbyist bred Bisher? I would say, I mean, that's hard to say because usually they get fairly large. So it's kind of a niche subject. It's kind of a niche fish. If it's a rare mutation or color pattern or species of the Bishers, then I would say, I mean, upwards of $100. But if it's something super common, I usually see them more like $15 to $25, which is why they're not really the best thing to breed unless you have like a pond or a big old pool at temperature, and that's fine. Are there any dog breeds on that list? Just curious. No, I wish there were. I mean, I wish there were for all pets something like this. But I mean, they will expand. They're also going to be doing coral and saltwater fish right away from the start. I don't know a lot about that, but like literally, I don't know a lot about coral and saltwater fish keeping. But they're gonna have frags. They're gonna have people, hobbyists, swapping and stuff like that on there. So it should be really interesting. So if you want to be a part of that and want to talk to me about that, I'm sourcing some folks for them that want to set up just either a tank or two of theirs, or 5 if you feel like it, but just looking for a few people who want to set up a tank or two, list the species of plants and fish, a little description about how they get along, and a nice little photo gallery of what you've done. And then you'll be in the site early as an early adopter, and you'll be able to see what's for sale basically before it's even completely live, and do some of those test things. They're even going to be giving out like free, they'll cover the shipping just to make sure that like everything's in line with the software and how it sources and things. But ethically, they're also hoping that people will choose to buy fish from breeders that are like, if you live in Canada, or actually I think it's going to start with just US, but if you live up north like me in Washington, and all of a sudden you want fish, they're going to hope that if there's two breeders that look, that everything's the same, all things considered, then go with the one in California or Montana rather than the one like on the East Coast. So yeah. And if you guys want to be a part of that, either after this stream, just comment and I'll leave you my email and you can let me know. And if you, seller or buyer, honestly, but we're just looking for people who want to make it, who will be engaged in the process of making that avatar, so that we can kind of see how people will use the tools they've made, and then they're going to add all new tools and stuff with the feedback that people give. But it should be pretty cool. I'm really excited to be a part of it. Alex and people, it's 2 a.m. in England and I just finished painting my kitchen. Time to relax and now think about my fish, frogs, and snails. You've been neglecting them. Well, that's all good, Lee. You got to paint stuff sometimes, man. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope they're doing well also. Yeah, so I don't know, if you're interested, and you know my email, alexanderjwilliamson@gmail.com, you can email me. If you are, if you don't have that and you just want to comment on this later, then just comment on this video once it loads, like in the comment section, and then I can respond with my email and I'll get you hooked up with the exclusive access. We only need to, we're only going to do it with a couple people, so the more experience you have with taking pretty pictures of your fishies and knowing the Latin names and stuff. But it's going to be cool because you put in the common name and boom, it tells you the Latin name. You put in a morph like half moon, beta, blah blah blah, and it'll then bring up a drop down menu and you can check and see, okay, mine is a half moon whatever, mustard gas, or a half moon koi whatever, or a plakat this or that. So it'll be a nice reference too for unifying the names, because they've teamed up with the non-profit Fish Base. And if you're a hardcore aquarist, fishbase.de, their German website, is insane. Yeah. For 134s, that one's a tricky one. Yeah, they've been fluctuating a lot. It really depends on the quality of the line. I would say for an average quality line, I wouldn't pay more than about $25, $30 for like a mid-sized juvenile. For a really small juvenile, like 15 to 20. And then for a good line, like one that you can see that the adults are just incredible, beautiful looking things, that's where I'd pay like 50 or $60 for even a young fish. And I know that's a big range, but honestly, you can tell a lot by how a tank full of fish look. And that's why this new site, Vivi, that they're setting up, will make sellers have pictures of how their grow out stages look, so that buyers can know for real that they're not just being fed junk, that they're actually taking good care of the fish, that they're growing out plump, that they look healthy, that their line is really good. How do I get my fish so cheap? I just look online. I look online or talk to the fish club locally, but I do a lot of swapping too, where I breed something and they want it, and then we switch. But prices have been going crazy, so I could be way off on the price, but they've been going really crazy lately. Let's see here. So Corundulan Work says, I found an adult dragonfly on the inside of my tank and a nymph in with my shrimp this morning. Do you have any advice for medication? Well, you should just grab them out manually, honestly, and then get rid of them because they will devour your shrimp. And there isn't really a medication that will kill just them because they're going to be so similar to being they're going to be so similar to being an invertebrate. So yeah, you're just going to have to go with it and pull them out. Unfortunately, because the meds are too close. They're gonna kill anything that you already care about, probably. Holy cow, Alex, where do you find these fish so cheap? Most online are 134s, average 60 to 70. Yeah, I think Aquatic Arts had them for like 53.99 or something like that. And then they went up to like 64.99 again afterwards. But that's a really good quality one. But if you are buying fish, there are some weird little sites like people's independent sites. And again, they're usually trans shippers flipping them, where you can get brand new baby fish that are literally an inch long and they haven't dewormed them or anything. And they think they're selling them to fish stores. And you're going to see them for like 15 to 20 bucks for a pleco that would normally be like 50 in another 3 months. So it is a thing. I don't like those sites though, personally. I'd rather pay the money for someone who cared for the fish properly at first. But if you really want to know some of those sites, leave a comment after this stream and I can tell you a couple of them. But you're going to be dealing with, parasites and things like that. A lot of them are wild caught. A lot of them are mass bred in facilities and have not been quarantined or treated. They're just flipped right away. So that's why I don't always recommend those. Turkey baster, grab one. Yeah, turkey baster is a super useful tool. That is for sure. Well, guys, I'm losing my voice again just because I've been sick the last week. But I'm coming to Florida in a week. So if you live in Central Florida, let's figure out a day to meet up. I'm speaking on Saturday the 10th in basically right there by Spring Hill, and should be pretty exciting. In the Pasco and is it Homosassa and County there, all those little towns just north of Tampa and south of Gainesville and Ocala on the west coast of Florida. I'll be traveling all around, and I think I'm going to go see Lucas Bretz and Grant Eater, definitely see both of them. But I'd love to meet up with some of you if you guys live in that area and you want to come to my talk. Maybe we'll all get some food afterwards. Yeah, sorry we didn't cover more oddball fish. I thought we'd have a little bit more, but I just wanted to see what was online. And I highly recommend that you guys go check out, like, be it redfishbluefish.shop or dansfish.com, Wet Spot. I don't have any association with them, but they're all great places for weird oddball fish. So I'm going to get off of here, but thank you so very much, Super Chatters, everybody else, and lurkers, watchers, replay crew. The other thing is, it is the time of the season for love. No, it's the time of the season for panda loaches, which I'm super excited. Jonah's Aquatic, yes, they have, they're another great website that has native fish. He's one of the few people who has a license to collect native fish. So Jonah's Aquarium or Jonah's Aquatics, definitely check out that website too. But that's more for like stocking ponds and stuff. So, but you can buy from them. I've bought from them for sure. All right, guys, take it easy. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again for being you and for joining me. It's great to see you. We hit 74 likes, 74 people. That's awesome. I know it's been slow lately. I know I want panda loaches really bad again. When I'm back from all my trips and speaking engagements, I will have a colony of panda loaches again when I can find them. So hard to find. They're usually like 30 bucks a piece. If I can find them for 15 bucks a piece, I'll buy them anytime. But when I get back, I think I'm just going to commit to it and try to breed them again, because they're only in 3 creeks in China, and they're my hands down my favorite fish I've kept. They're so fun. All right, guys. Much love to everybody. Take care of your critters, your fish, the people around you, and of course, take care of yourself, your body, your mind. Or you can't do the other things. You can't take care of the other stuff, like me, and my voice starting to go out. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. And Laura says hi. Bye, guys.